welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights Live, WoodwardSports.com. I'm Eazy, Detroit Kool-Aid,
What up,
Young
though?
Chris. We got KG and the ones and twos.
Yeah.
Smash the like button if you guys haven't already. Be a friend, tell a friend, share the stream. Hit the like button, man. Hit the like button.
Smash the like button for Spinny, too.
Yeah, for Spinny, too. We're going through here at Woodward Sports, man. Smash the like button. You're here supporting us. Appreciate you guys. I want to start the show off with an apology. I'd like to apologize to Detroit Lions general manager Brad Holmes. I got shaky on the front. I was one of the largest supporters, physically and literally. And that support wavered. It wavered when it comes trade deadline time. I thought this year was truly the year to win the Super Bowl for the Detroit Lions. I think Ben Johnson was a part of that. And I kind of just bought too much into what Ben Johnson was to this team. And not that he's not a great contributor to what's going on right now, but I kind of just, in my mind, for some reason, had put all the success in him without realizing what Brad Holmes has provided him to cook with, without realizing just the determination, the pure determination from Dan Campbell, AG. And I say that from a point like they're willing to do whatever it takes to get it done right. To make the right call.
Yeah.
And that includes Dan Campbell firing offense coordinator and friend and Anthony Lynn, then he has to do that. If that includes Aaron Glenn having to fire a friend and a secondary coordinator or secondary coach and Aubrey Pleasant, then he's going to do that. And I think this could be sustained success. And it's coming off of what I guess inspired the apology is also, I guess, congratulations. Chris, I don't know if you made a separate graphic for this one or not, but Brad Holmes has officially been named, I think it's the Football Writers Association Executive of the Year.
Shout out.
Yeah, Pro Football Writers Association.
And it's been that. It's always been that. I guess I was just too focused on winning the Super Bowl this year, but Brad Holmes has been nice for forever now.
Yeah.
And I was too butthurt about the trade deadline move. And I apologize for comments I've made.
I think the best thing, one of the best things, or one of their best qualities about this regime, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, is it doesn't seem like they're afraid to admit their mistakes, man. You know what I mean? And correct on them. We've seen other people here in the past kind of be stubborn to that end. You know, Patricia and Quinn, they seem to be really super stubborn. They didn't want to admit nothing was wrong because they wanted to be like the smartest people in the room. Mm-hmm. But these guys have kind of stayed true to themselves. They've continued to be authentic about what their path is, what their job is at hand. And honestly, I think when you're true to yourself, you're able to also trust the moves that you know are going to work out. I think that's been a little bit of the secret to the success behind what Brad Holmes has been doing. And honestly, having people that they're not trying to win the room. They're not trying to win the media. They're not trying to win the press conference. They're just going out there to make sure they can kind of dress this team with what they believe is not only going to resonate with the city, but resonate in the win column as well. And it's been something beautiful to see.
Yeah.
Like me personally, when it was the draft time, where were we at? Fifth Ave? For the draft party?
Yeah, last year, yeah.
Yep. And I was with D-Mac and Terry Foster, and I was like, I don't know what's really going on. And D-Mac was one of the ones that was just like, listen, trust in Brad Holmes. And we know he's a big proponent of that. Obviously with Steve Eiserman, with Brad Holmes, he's been all in on whatever they're going to do because of the type of people he said that they presented themselves to be. So I was like, look, I'm going to trust in Brad Holmes too, but inside, I have some things that I have to apologize for too to Brad Holmes. But I didn't know. Like I told you, we sat here and said, I think I was hosting with you, and we were like, yeah, he should have did something at this deadline. You got to take advantage of your windows right now. And he's had a complete pulse on exactly what this team is, who this team is, and honestly what their weaknesses are, because they've come away from a coaching perspective and absolutely schemed around all of that to find themselves right here where they're at right now in the NFC Championship game.
Right, and that's the thing. That's like where I guess I tripped up was like I just was so. I guess I just in my mind I made it where like we weren't gonna get this done without Ben Johnson, and I just. To see Brad doing what he's doing and know we still have him for like years to come. Yeah. And he's continuing like stocking this roster. I think we mentioned it when Penei and Amon-Ra got that all pro is like, okay, Ben goes somewhere. And if it's not Tanner Strand, which I've gained some confidence in lately, as actually yesterday, then any other coordinator that's eligible for the position, and I don't mean eligible, I mean like I guess good enough for it, is going to want to be here. You know what I'm saying? Any coordinator is going to want to make a name of themselves is going to come here and cook with the piece that Brad Holmes is providing them. And I mean, how could you not? On top of like Brad Holmes also giving you pieces, you also, if you're aspiring to become a head coach beyond a coordinator, you have the greatest leader in football, in my opinion, and Dan Campbell to learn from. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I guess it's a perfect mixture. It's a great culture. We're building our own thing here, and I apologize for being upset about not acquiring that edge rusher. I wanted to win the Super Bowl this year, and hey, it's the NFC Conference Championship this weekend.
It is, man.
The Super Bowl isn't necessarily out of the question. It's not necessarily out of the question. Hey, and this may not be the only apology. I know a lot of Jared Goff fans out there listening. There might be an apology to come Monday too.
I think the people waiting on that
Monday
one.
too. What'd you say?
No, I think the people waiting on that one, man.
Yeah, waiting on that one.
For sure. But, I mean, to your point, man, I understand, like, why you felt like that as a Lions fan, because we Lions fans, right? We always want the Lions to go after the big names. We always want them to be aggressive in the market. And for so many years, the Lions just would not seem to do that. But I think the difference is with Brad Holmes is, like, in past regimes, I think they didn't make that move because they didn't necessarily want to spend the money, or they didn't want to, pay the certain player long term if they did make a deal. With Brad Holmes, it just seems a lot more calculated. It seems like, I'm not making this move right now, but it's going to pan out in the future. It seems like he has a plan, and that's something that our front offices before it never seemed like they had. So I can understand why you felt like that, but we just got to continue to trust in Brad, man. He's got a cachet. He's built up enough of a resume at this point for us to be able to relax a little bit and trust the moves that he's going to make. And now he's going into an offseason where he's going to have the most cap he's had in another draft class, coming off a draft class that may be, revolutionizing our franchise as a whole. So, man, I'm excited for the future, but you don't need to feel too bad. We get it as Lions fans, I
appreciate you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. And congratulations to Brad Holmes. Does the AP do a regular season award situation for the executives, or is it just like coaches? And
I thought AP did one. I'm not sure.
I saw a lot of AP stuff roll out, but I didn't see executives per se. But speaking of that, and maybe I should say this where I'll go somewhere else and we'll come back to the AP stuff. Shout out to Raheem Morris, just landed the job for the Atlanta Falcons. Obviously, I know hiring it's crazy too. Chris being the token white guy in the room, but hiring African Americans in the NFL was
just
not
trying to break through, man. Just trying to break through. If I get my shot, I'll make it. But I just gotta get that opportunity.
Well, hiring black coaches wasn't a thing, or it was like a controversial thing in the league for quite a while. But now this hiring cycle, we've seen Raheem Morris now with the Atlanta Falcons. Before him, we saw the Patriots, Boston of all places.
Gerard Mayo.
Hey, and I didn't even see the fan reaction. Did they embrace my man? I'm drawing a blank of the name, and I'm horrible.
Gerard Mayo.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they embraced him. I don't know, but I think Robert Kraft been hanging with Meek Mill a lot. Maybe that's why he made this move, but it was shocking to see that come out of Boston,
right?
Massachusetts, like you said, of all places.
I'm glad I'm not the only one. Then also Antonio Pierce, shout out to him.
Yeah.
He grew up watching the Raiders as a Raider fan, and now to become the head coach of the Raiders. Also thought he did a phenomenal job over there too. It's not. And I've always felt, and I'll be honest with you guys too, it is the good old boys club when it comes to NFL. I think the Kaepernick situation is more than evidence of that.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like these guys still want to win at the end of the day. I think so, at least. And I feel like I'm just glad, I guess, the right decisions are being made. I guess congrats to Jim Harbaugh, too. I'm sorry, Michigan fans, if you don't want to hear that one. I don't know. We're just throwing congrats out to head coaches.
Yeah. Yeah, look, man, the national championship, it helps make it a little bit easier.
Yeah,
that he's moved on a lot easier, man. But I hope Sharon Moore is the guy, man. I really do. Do. My only question, if I had to pick somebody right now, it would be Sharon Moore. My only question is, can he go and stock his football room with as much depth as, and I don't mean just the players. I mean the coaches and all that. Yeah, his coaching staff as well as Jim Harbaugh did.
Man, hopefully learn enough. I mean, do you think he might go with Jim? Is that no?
I don't see that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I heard he was getting interest from another NFL team. No, I can't remember which one.
Wow.
You said which one?
Sherrod Moore?
No, Minter, Jesse Minter.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I'm Jim Harbaugh, I'm definitely making sure I got that guy.
Yeah. You want to keep him for at least another season or two.
For damn sure. That division's about to be crazy, too. Because you got, I guess Jim now. Obviously got Patrick Mahomes. Who am I missing? Antonio Pierce kind of on the up and up. Don't really got a quarterback, though.
Yeah.
And then what's the division? Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders. Broncos, Sean Payton.
Oh, well.
So it's just like a plethora of like good to great head coaches, I'd say. I was going to mention one more comment, too, about something else. I don't remember what it was. I apologize. Don't know what it was. But when we come back, we got the AP Awards.
Is it just the possibility, quickly speaking of with the Atlanta position being filled, Ben Johnson? Mm-hmm. How much does that increase the percentage chance that he stays? Because I feel like before we were at like 3%. And now, we saw the Chargers job go. We saw the Atlanta job go. Those were the two jobs that people circled. I know people are talking about the Commanders
Dave
right now.
Canales of the Panthers today, too.
Yeah. Where you at with Ben Johnson?
If you had to just give a quick
Seahawks
percentage. And Commanders remain as open head coaching candidates.
I told you, that's where you're going.
Commanders?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Oh, Ben Johnson,
Yeah, Ben Johnson, yeah. I like what they got going on as a brain trust. I know people think of it as a laughable organization, but you got to remember that Dan Snyder sold the team. He's no longer associated with the bunch. And now you got Bob Myers.
Yes, sir.
Who was a great executive for the Golden State Warriors. And Magic Johnson. By
the way, brilliant move to build the ultimate dynasty in the NBA and not even try to do it again. Just go to another sport. You just because you're not going to top what you built in Golden State.
Yes. And when I think of Ben Johnson, I think of innovative, refreshing, young. I think that's obviously bringing Bob Myers. That's an innovative, refreshing. That's a different move. It's just they're trying to do something different there. And I think there's a lot of smart people there too. Is it Josiah, is that the name? The other owner besides Mitch Johnson, the guy who owns the Nets and stuff like that?
I mean, Josiah is the owner of the Nets. I don't know of relationship.
It's Joe something. I can't remember what his name is.
Josiah, I believe, is the name.
So I think he'll probably end up going to the Commanders. But listen, I think Detroit Lions are still in good hands. I like Tanner Strand as a prospect. And again, like I said before, between Dan Campbell and the prospects that Brad Holmes is constantly rolling in here, how could you not want to come here and coach and build on your resume? Yeah. I think having Dan Campbell as an associate on your resume or as a reference is it's gonna spread. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was gonna say as well too. I think obviously losing an offensive coordinator as talented as Ben Johnson, that's gonna sting. We talked about this, man. These coaches, they do make a difference, but Dan Campbell has been somebody that he seems to have a firm pulse on the NFL, man. When I look at the coaching tree that he came from, I would be more concerned if Aaron Glenn was the Ben Johnson of defensive coordinators, and he was leaving.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell, to me, has actually impressed me as an offensive play caller in this league. And you look at the teams he came from, especially with Sean Payton in New Orleans, he's going to have some offensive chops with him. He's going to have that. He's going to know exactly kind of where to go to try and replace that. And if it's with somebody in-house, I actually trust that, man. I trust that a lot. Not that we're not going to lose a little bit with Ben Johnson, but we're still going to largely have the players that he coached up, the players that he schemed up. And if Jared Goff is as good as he's been showing and as mature as he's been showing, you still have a Jared Goff who's been underneath this system now for several years. And so to me, you know what? It's almost a situation where I'm like, you know what, Ben Johnson, go out there and get what you deserve. Because honestly, if we're being real, he probably should have been gone last year. He had so many opportunities, and he came out publicly and said, we have unfinished business here. I want to come back and do what we got to do for these Detroit Lions. And so right now, we're on borrowed time. Borrowed time.
You saw Dave Canales get his head coaching job with the Panthers only 1 year. Now, that being said, the Panthers kind of a little bit of a shit show right now.
Right.
With David Tepper throwing drinks on it. Yeah, fired 2 coaches back-to-back years. That guy is...
Where do you see a 1-year deal in the coaching market?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But when we get back, a couple Detroit Lions coaches up for awards. We're discussing which ones we think are actually going to cash in on that one, but not before Chris tells us about what we got to talk about.
What we got to talk about. What we do got to talk about is the Woodward sports merch. Are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch? It's a new era in sports wearables. New designs, amazing appeal, and the ultimate swag. Check out Woodward Sports and check out their latest gear by clicking the shop tab on woodwardsports.com. Hoodies, tees, and hats, all guaranteed to turn heads. Once again, go to woodwardsports.com and click the shop tab.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports Crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions!
With money on the line, featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. prizes, and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
At Planet Fitness, you can get energy without the judgment.
Hi, can you help me with this?
You don't know how to use it?
This is better.
Join now through January 19th for just 24 cents down, $10 a month. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Join today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for 24 cents down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal extended through January 19th.
Over 50 Metro Detroit locations.
R.I.P. to the same old Lions. Big thanks to Sheila, Brad, and Dan for putting them to rest. Before we finish with this read, I got to salute them. Queen Sheila, what up, though? And guess what else has found the grave? Same old rock, paper, scissors. Jack Labrador has revolutionized that tired game with 2 new symbols and a franchise-changing 3-point play. Discover the action at jacklabrador.gg now and find out why once you go Jack, you never go back.
It's funny you saying this as thing. Because where it's derived from. What up, though? Welcome back to Whatever Waits Live on Sports.com. Yeah.
My brain is saying something completely different. Yeah. I have to think really, really hard. Like, bro,
right,
say
don't
Jack.
slip up.
Say Jack.
Jlack? Once you go Jlack. Welcome to Whatever Waits Live.
Oh, y'all stupid, bro.
That's
I
Detroit
lost to
Kool-Aid.
Shorty to someone Jack. That's just tough.
Jlack.
We got
Chris,
young
say
Chris.
Jlack one more time.
Y'all lost to Shorty. I lost to Shorty to Jack before. That's tough. It's tough.
Oh, man.
My ex dated a Jlack guy.
Oh, y'all stupid, bro.
Relax, I got Jack once.
We got KG. Smash that like button. Be a friend. Tell a friend. It's a day, man. We're having a day. Almost like a Friday, man. Couple Detroit Lions head coaches, couple Detroit Lions assistant coaches, not a couple head coaches, only one head coach, and a couple Detroit Lions rookies have all been up for us AP awards. Chris, if you don't mind throwing those up here. Dan Campbell, official finalist for the AP head coach of the year.
Damn right.
Shout out to him for that one. You got the assistant head coach of the year, Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Shout out to him for that one. Sam Laporta, rookie of the year, and Jahmyr Gibbs, rookie of the year. Kool-Aid.
Yes, sir.
KG, Chris. Which one of these gentlemen is more likely to cash in the award? And if you feel like it's more than one, feel free to power rank the 4 of them. But
Yeah,
who
let
do
me
you
see
think
that
is more likely
graphic
to take away
again,
the
man.
award?
Let me see that graphic again, Chris, if you don't mind. Goodness gracious. Ben Johnson, definitely. I think if there's one person on that screen that I think is for sure, I think it's Ben Johnson. Would I give my coach of the year to Dan Campbell? I don't know if I'm biased or not, but I would. But if I think that there's one guy who's kind of been clear-cut, one of the head and shoulders above his peers at his position, it would be Ben Johnson, man. If I had to power rank him, I'd probably go Ben Johnson. This next one is tough.
It's got to be Dan.
Dan Campbell, yeah. Then Sam Laporta, then Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, obviously it's Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson's cashing that in. As a Detroit Lions fan, as a Dan Campbell fan, I would love to sit up here and say he deserves it. I think if the award voting went past like regular season into the playoffs, I think Dan Campbell would have that head coach of the year award. But being that it ends at the regular season, I think they end like a week before, just before the playoffs, when they send in the final votes.
And that would be the Dallas game for us.
Yeah, that's why I think it's probably going to go towards like Raheem Morris or something like that when it comes to like head coach. Although obviously I think he's more than deserving again if it were to extend to like the postseason. But assistant coach that's Ben Johnson all day.
Yeah.
And then I believe rookie of the year. Although I had to apologize to Brad Holmes because there's 2 rookie of the year candidates and 1 draft class for this guy.
It's crazy.
Come on, man. But and by the way, testament to Ben Johnson being there for the assistant of the year too. But he's number 1.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a really good point.
Yeah, I mean, Ben, when he spoke at the podium today, had mentioned like just Brad in that, like I guess the piece that Brad's been able to give them, and the way he's able to coordinate with Dan Campbell to like acquire these pieces and find out the philosophies of the coaching room, what they need. He's been able to provide that. Actually, I think it was AG who said that too. Might have been both of them. But who was it for you, KG? Who's most deserving of the award? It's kind of easy, huh?
Yeah, it would definitely be Ben Johnson for me as the clear cut. To me, Dan Campbell, and I know they cut off at the regular season, but The only coach that's even remotely close to Dan Campbell in that category to me is D'Amico Ryans from the Houston Texans, man. But yeah, I mean, Ben Johnson has been head above everybody else in the league on the offensive side of the ball. He's created a system. He's innovated, and yeah, man, it's gonna be a shame to lose him, but you know,
yeah,
we'll see, man. We'll see. These jobs getting ate up quick, so we'll see.
Chris?
I mean, I know that we're supposed to give Ben Johnson credit here because, you know, he's about to win an award, but like I feel like now's the perfect time to start that smear campaign, baby. Let's keep it one more year.
There's only 2 jobs left. It might be the final. You know, that might be the final tipping point. Say something bad about him.
That's what.
He's got stink breath. I saw him push down an old lady. All kinds of stuff. Don't hire him. He's not head coaching material.
For those of you that don't know, last year we did a whole fake smear campaign for Ben Johnson so that he would stay. But no, I obviously Ben Johnson is number 1. For me, number 2 is probably Dan Campbell. Especially if the voters had the context of the playoffs, I think it would be a no-brainer at this point. But unfortunately, based off the regular season, I feel like you would have to give that award to the Browns coach for everything that happened, even though they totally laid an egg in the playoffs. And then after that, you got to go Laporta for me. Laporta 3, Gibbs 4. I feel like that's a solid list. Laporta was a lot better early on in the year, and while Gibbs has come on strong lately, I feel like the better season overall is Laporta. But man, this is crazy because think about it. Brian Branch should be in this. We had a segment last night. We had a segment last night about this. Brian Branch should also be in this conversation.
You're not wrong.
Like this is insane to have 5 people to be like the top of your profession is insane.
Yeah, that's kind of. He wasn't the defensive rookie of the year. That's kind of. Is that BS? I mean,
it's total BS. It's total BS. We had the numbers yesterday. I'll go pull them up one more time. Go ahead. Somebody stall for me. I'll pull them up.
Yeah, because I quote tweeted today. Because by the way, and I have to find a way to get him back in here, but I will say, as much as he BS's and lies and spreads false information, Detroit supremacy was a man of his word. And he paid up that $367 because with the AP list, that's what these are. JG was in the top 5, whatever. But yeah, defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, I got the numbers right here.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the finalists. Defensive rookie of the year finalists: Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, Joey Porter Jr., Kobe Turner, and Devon Witherspoon.
Well, that's perfect because Joey Porter's right here, and as you can see, he don't hold a candle to Brian Branch.
Yeah, that's
Wait. You said what? The defensive rookie of the year finalists?
So the defensive rookie of the year finalists: Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, Joey Porter Jr., Kobe Turner, and Devon Witherspoon.
Well, look at those numbers.
Kobe Turner and Jalen Carter had good seasons, man. Yeah. It's a tough group, man. But I definitely think he needs to be in the conversation. Especially over Joey Porter. Like, no disrespect to him, but
man, it's especially over exactly. That's the one, and that's the numbers that Chris had up there too. Was the Brian Branch versus Joey Porter, bro? They're night and day.
Yeah,
bro.
Like I could see from like the all rookie team being like, okay, we're only picking like outside. My bad, Kool-Aid. We're only picking outside corners. But this is not an outside corner award. As you see, there's all different positions there, and one's clearly outperforming the other one.
That's what I'm saying.
Everything,
you spit, bro. Preach.
Everything. I mean, go ahead. It's crazy. It's crazy, and it's not like we haven't been on national TV. Now we've been cashing in wins on top of it. Like that part, whatever,
and
man.
He's been vital to this team's success. Like I'm going to continue to go back to that. You can't have our coaches, some of these offensive players, highly rated, getting nominated for awards. You look at what this defense has been all season. We know what they've missed all season. We know their weak spots. And this man has continued to go out there and just dominate week after week after week that he's been there as a rookie, man. Playing really in some different positions and doing it strong. One of our heaviest hitters on the team. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He's breaking rookie records. He's setting some team records. And he's still going out there with a chip on his shoulder. He already had a chip on his shoulder. Now you're talking about putting an even bigger chip on his shoulder. At the very least, since we know the way that Brian Branch walks, I know that this isn't something that's going to necessarily get him down. I think this is going to motivate him even more. And the best time to motivate him is right now in this NFC Championship game.
Do y'all think team success should play a role in that? Because I think the Lions are the best team out of all the teams that those players are on, or had the best regular season.
I think if that rookie had something to do, like contribute significantly to that team's success, then I think you do have to look at that. Because I'm telling you guys, you take them off this defense, man. I think we're looking at a different Lions team. I really do.
A lot of those tackles and interceptions have been crucial to our defense. So,
And when we talk about the red zone defense too, and the fact that teams cannot throw for touchdowns against the Detroit Lions when they get inside that red zone, Brian Branch has a lot to do with that as well, especially with the type of defense, the physicality that he's able to play with, especially the closer a team gets to that goal. This thing just, I don't know, man. It's confusing. This to me is one of the more confusing kind of snubs out there. Like, I get it. Amon-Ra snubbed from the Pro Bowl, but kind of all of us kind of had a feeling that he was going to make one of those all-pro teams. It's like with the popularity contest, you can kind of be like, okay, whatever. But when this is about the person's body of work, and that's what the award is supposed to be, or at least the nomination and the acknowledgement is supposed to be about, this is where it becomes something where I'm just like, yo, this list is bull. If it doesn't include at least Brian Branch. We're not even sitting up here saying he should win the award.
Yeah, he should get a mention, though.
But he should be mentioned. Exactly.
That's what I meant with it, too.
I like Sith Lord KG today, dog.
Oh, man, stop it. Come to the dark side.
You got by the way, I didn't get to mention this in the beginning of the show. We will be joined by two-time Super Bowl champion Bryant McFadden at 6:30 today to discuss the Detroit Lions defense against the 49ers offense and much more. But somebody in Woodward Sports Chat, because Eduardo O'Neill actually made a great point before we go to break here. He had mentioned, why aren't we discussing Mike McDonald as Assistant of the Year over Ben Johnson? That's fair. That's fair. We'll speak on that when we get back. First, I got to tell you guys about Mark White. Whether you're buying or selling real estate, Mark White's the place to go, because right now he's saving you up to $5,000 on your closing costs. You heard that right. That's $5,000. Whether you're moving up the peninsula, you're staying down here, wherever you got to go, Mark White's got you covered. He's got a website, too. It's markwhitesells.com, or call him directly at 248-290-8242. Again, that's markwhitesells.com, 248-290-8242.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Ave, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today. Find the brand you want at lesstanford.com.
What up, though? Welcome back to World Heavyweights Live, WorldSports.com. I'm Eazy. That's Detroit Kool-Aid, Young Chris, KG. Smash that like button, be a friend, tell a friend, share the stream. We will be joined by Bryant McFadden in the second hour of the show to discuss Detroit Lions defense against that elite 49ers offense. I want to grab him specifically because he plays secondary. He played the secondary, I should say. He's got 2 Super Bowls doing so. He's got a podcast called All Things Covered with Patrick Peterson, who's also a great secondary member. So I want to get his take because I think that's the weakness of this defense. But before we jump into a little bit more of the prep, I guess I did want to ask this to you guys just real quick, get out of the way. Does Mike McDaniel deserve a nod for Assistant Coach of the Year over Ben Johnson in your mind? I thought that was a good point to make. I know my answer.
I'm still going with Ben Johnson, bro.
I'm still going with Ben Johnson too.
Still going with Ben Johnson.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you got to look at the fact that we just mentioned that, two of the guys for Rookie of the Year, 2 guys for the Offensive Rookie, 2 people from the same draft class were up for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Ben Johnson's a piece of that. And as much as I think Mike McDaniel's an incredible defensive coordinator, I think he's worthy of the head coaching interviews he's getting too. He's cooking with Roquan Smith. He's cooking with Jadeveon Clowney. He's cooking with Kyle Hamilton. He's cooking with Marcus Wood. Like, he's got dogs over there.
Yep. And that defense has always been, good for the most part, over the past few years. So.
Yes. So, again, Mike McDaniel deserving, but you're looking at what we're cooking with versus what they got going on.
Mm-hmm.
Jahmyr Gibbs and Sam Laporta are pivotal pieces of, this Lions offense. And break it down film, the 49ers and their defense, we got to stop. They're talking about a rookie Sam Laporta.
Right.
They're talking about a rookie Jahmyr Gibbs.
That's the key. He's doing it with rookies.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And then, actually, let's go segue to the next segment. The rookie Jahmyr Gibbs, I think he is the key. I know on Tuesday we went over keys just in general. I think he is, offensively I should say, the number one key for the Detroit Lions beating the San Francisco 49ers. And the San Francisco 49ers dog-ass defense, they're really good, except we got a graphic in there, Chris, if you don't mind. It's Jahmyr Gibbs outside run versus the 49ers defending those outside runs. If you want to throw that side by side up there, Jahmyr Gibbs eats on the outside. And when we talked about Tuesday, this is even before I was looking at the pin and poll stuff like that, I was talking about, hey, I think you want to get your best blockers in space, like a Penei Sewell versus a Fred Warner or Drake Kinlaw for Jahmyr Gibbs to eat. And by the numbers, that's just what Jahmyr Gibbs does, and that's exactly what the 49ers suck at. God damn, are we good? We called it on Tuesday, I'm just saying.
And more importantly, it's not just what Jahmyr Gibbs does, but you're talking about what this offensive line does in front of him as well. That combination, to me, mixed with the weakness of the San Francisco 49ers defense, that could be deadly combination. That has to be the key. And we've talked about it as well, leading up into a couple of these games, that the Lions are going to have to really, really establish the run. And it sounds funny sometimes when I say establish the run, at least to me, because it's like David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, they just eat. You really have to establish it. Just give them the ball and let them go to work, man. And what I absolutely loved about Jahmyr Gibbs as well in the game against the Buccaneers was how well he caught the ball out the backfield too. It seemed like they threw a couple more wrinkles in there where he was catching the ball out the backfield. David Montgomery was catching the ball out the backfield too for some pretty big plays. Whether it was I remember David Montgomery had a 5-yard catch for a first down, I believe, against the Bucs, and it was just I know he catches it every now and then, but I wasn't used to him being in that position too many times with the Lions. And so it's I think it gives a few more things on tape for the 49ers defense to have to consider. When you see them in the backfield, your defense is going to have to line up in a certain type of personnel, and one play action from Jared Goff could mean, honestly, hell for the 49ers defense. They're going to have to get these linebackers to bite. The Lions are going to have to get them to bite. And when you get Jahmyr Gibbs in any type of space, man, he's been absolutely electric. Absolutely electric.
And a thing I think we haven't really seen all season, and I was kind of scratching my head on all season, was remember when we drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, and our argument as Lions fans is he's a weapon. He's a weapon. He's not just a running back, he's a weapon. It's not just you drafting a first-round running back. He's going to do other things. When the season kind of played out, he had the Seattle game catching a lot of balls where Jared Goff was pressured. But after that, not much.
It went dry.
Until the season, started close to the end, and he kind of grew in his game. As a matter of fact, we have a tape or clip from Dan Campbell speaking on his development as a player.
Obvious coming out of the draft, but how has he improved in the nuances of the position, being a more complete back to help the overall running game?
He's improved in everything. I think you can see that. His protection is improved, and that's not something that you say, well, we got him in here to protect. No, but he's got to be able to do it, and he's grown leaps and bounds in that regard. I think you see he's getting better in the pass game out of the backfield. That was somewhere we felt like there was a ton of room to grow, and it's getting better and better and better, and he's still got so much room to go there. But his running ability, his vision, he's just, to me, he really is a complete back that's continued to develop. But really, since I felt like we played the Ravens early in the year, and that's when you felt like, all right, here come the lights coming on, and he's just every week gotten better and better and better. So He's playing at a high level right now.
And I wish we were able to play like NFL. I mean, I guess we could, and I could have grabbed it and could have 3-cammed it. But there was a play last week against the Bucks where I think they broke it down on Action NFL Live yesterday too. They called option routes. I remember he's running them against the Seahawks, but him and Goff weren't on the same page. That's actually what led to that pick six. If you don't remember, I think it was a Jahmyr Gibbs route.
Yeah,
and the pick six against the Seahawks. Well, now obviously the season's going on. They had that little bit of chemistry where he had that option route. He could have took it out and towards like the out of bounds.
Yeah.
Or he could have took it inside. And I mean, as soon as he catches that outside shoulder, obviously we know what Jahmyr Gibbs. Like there's speed and there's quickness. Yeah. Quickly, like speed is J-Mo. Straight direction's gone. Actually, J-Mo's quick too, but Jahmyr's quicker in my opinion. Like it's like where you can alter that speed into multiple directions, stop, accelerate, keep going.
I was gonna say he has both.
Jahmyr's got
speedy
that,
and
right?
quick.
So coming out of that backfield on those Texas routes, on those option routes, I think that's going to be another key to this game, and almost a key where like if you watch the film of the Lions all season, you're not really seeing too much of that with Jahmyr Gibbs. But it's come on as of late. Yep. And I just feel like it's a little bit of a secret weapon going up against the San Francisco 49ers like dominant defense. And I know what Fred Warner is. I know what Drake Greenlaw are. But that speed is, you can't match it. Yeah, no. I mean, the quickness, you can't match it. That's why I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the number one key for the Detroit Lions heading to this matchup against the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah. I got a cough on that one, bro, because that's a bar. Because you're right. There's a lot of people who are talking about San Francisco's linebackers and what they're going to do to this Detroit Lions offense. And honestly, like when I'm looking at the stats here, 9 carries for 74 yards, 8.2 yards per carry.
Jesus.
That's his average for Jahmyr Gibbs. But when you look at the passing game, 4 receptions for 40 yards, man. 10 yards
in that last game,
average in that last game. And even David Montgomery, 3 catches for 14 yards, man, averaging 5 yards a catch. That's going to be so crucial because our wide receivers, as they're hitting the middle, and especially for Sam Laporta, man, when you have to think about and you have to cover these running backs, because generally if David Montgomery's in, I'm lining up to stop the Lions from running the ball. But now all of a sudden, if he's a threat to catch the ball, you got to think, man, and keeping that offense, keeping their defense spread out, keeping their defense thinking, that's where I think you start to gash them a little bit, man. Then you set them up for the home run hit from Jahmyr Gibbs, man. That's where I think that the Lions, ultimately, the bread and butter is Jahmyr Gibbs running this ball.
Yeah. Hey, any way you can get it to him, man, I think he'd be able to make something shake, man. What about you, KG?
Yeah, man, and he's one of those players. It only take him 2 steps, and he's out of there, man. But it's a lot easier to run on the outside when you have tackles like Panay and Taylor Decker, man. So absolutely, it's pretty much pick your poison, man. I at this point, but if Jahmyr can get going out the backfield, like you said, Kool-Aid, man, that's only going to add another element. It's only going to add another wrinkle, man. Like. And I just hope that he does continue to get those touches out of the passing game.
Yep. And you know what I love, too? Because you brought up the tackles and everything. How far downfield do you see these guys going as well to make these blocks? Like, we've seen Panay Sewell blowing people up down the field.
J-Mo.
J-Mo.
We done seen everybody on the offense.
Craig Reynolds. Yeah. Oh, definitely Craig Reynolds. What was that? The Bucs game during the season?
Yeah,
for the St. Brown touchdown, right?
Yep. The last Bucs game, the one in the regular season.
Yep. Blasted up to 13 yards and make a crack block. Just that helped Amon-Ra St. Brown score that touchdown.
That's why I say, man, like they have the recipe, man. I sent a graphic earlier too that kind of broke down the defense and special teams and what CBS believes who has the advantage, and as well as the offense. And when I think about what the Lions do good, it's honestly busting up a lot of those narratives, man. That's what they've done really, really well this year. We've gone into games, and even us, we've been sometimes like, man, what are they going to really do against this Dallas offense?
Yeah.
They've been humming all year at home. What can the Lions really do? We're going to get chewed up through the air, blah, blah, blah. It was let me get the score right, 21-20 game. Asterisks, right?
Right.
I know that the record books would say 20-19, but 21-20 game, man. And we were all sitting here like, and I remember you were even like, you know what? I know this is gonna go down as a loss, but I actually believe in this team a lot more than beforehand. Because leading up to it, you were like, look,
that's
I just want to see.
Yes, that's what I wanted to see. Because all year. Because it's the same thing with the Cowboys, right? Like all year they're beating on bad teams. The Miami Dolphins, all year they're beating on bad teams. When they've played like winning teams, they got beaten on. And for the Detroit Lions, I love my team. Don't get me wrong, but that was what our story was up until that Dallas game.
You're
that was
trying
our
to be fair.
That was
I
our
get that.
Right? Yeah, that was our point to like reprove ourselves because Before then, it was the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? And so but on the road against another winning team, we proved that we can do it. And obviously, you see, in the playoffs too, bigger moments, more stressful moments, we still continue to cash in these W's. But Jahmyr Gibbs, big piece of that. I think both in the run game. I was going to mention one more thing too when it comes to him running on outside the tackles. But we do have to go to break here. I got to tell you about Guardian Alarm. You got to tell us about Guardian Alarm.
So on me, Guardian Alarm, man. It's a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night. And know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work. And people have been proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. Once again, that is 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Dispo Dispensary's got the best curated cannabis in the biz on top of curated cannabis products. Well, you know what else they're doing? You're giving away 2 tickets to the big game. And it's really, really easy. There's 2 tickets. You guys know what big game I'm talking about. It's over in Vegas. All you have to do is follow dispo.michigan, @ShowMedicated, and @ShowMedicated CBD on Instagram. Like the pinned post. Comment and tag somebody you'd like to bring, because it's free tickets, free flight, hotel, and accommodations. And for an extra entry, tag that same post on your Instagram story. That's dispo.michigan. Dispo, your local cannabis plug. What up, welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights Live, WoodwardSports.com. I'm your boy Eazy, join my guy Spin More. Ooh, I'm not. I'm just so used to. I'm sorry.
I see him in the chats though, man. Shout out
Sorry,
Spin.
dude. All Jalak guys look the same to me.
All of us Jalak guys.
All you Jack Rob or Jack Labrador guys. We got Chris KG.
Yeah. The token's here.
Smash that like button. Hey, I wanted to say this before the break. This is why I was trying to jump ahead to
I have
and to
Jalak
speak on.
friends.
Yeah, I got Jalak. Dude, my neighbor's Jalak. Dude. Come on. That's what I'm saying. Come on. My cat's got a Jalak patch over its eye. Come on. There's
My
this
cat has Jalak stripes.
There's this scheme that they use in the NFL, and I think that the Packers used it last week against the 49ers. Dan Orlovsky did a great job of breaking this down. I know Booner spoke about it a little bit last night too, but it's called a pin and pull. And it's basically what it is. You have a diamond set or triangle set of like a tight end, receiver, and then a receiver in the back or whoever it may be. You motion them out, and then you have that receiver pin in that end. So in this situation, it can be Chase Young or Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, I apologize, which successfully worked with the Green Bay Packers. This same strategy the Detroit Lions can use with Jahmyr Gibbs, and remember it's a receiver, initially doing that, so that you get the pulling action. Remember we talked about having Penei Sewell on the outside.
Yeah.
You want your best and the best. You talk about Penei Sewell upfield,
yep,
knocking bodies around.
Yep.
That's exactly what I think they're going to do. And again, the numbers we showed you, if you want to put it up one more time, Chris, those are on the season. Like, there's certain things you would think that a team like this, the 49ers, like so elite at the defense side of the ball, they would see that would correct and wouldn't be a thing anymore. No, this is something they continue to struggle with all year. Whether it was the Cleveland Browns, which you guys know they have a heavy run game, which I think the Cleveland Browns beat them with DTR, if I'm not mistaken. You saw the Packers do it last week, and they weren't even known for running the ball, partly because Aaron Jones was hurt all season, but the Packers aren't known for rushing the ball like that. Their offensive line is not known for being nice like that. So we're going to be able to pull Penei Sewell and whoever else it may be for that pin and pull situation and have Jahmyr Gibbs on the outside. They're going to fucking do work. And on top of that, too, think about our wide receivers. Before J-Mo started catching these balls, before he started getting more snaps, the one kind of like measly thing we were able to cling to as J-Mo believers was look at him blocking, look at him blocking. Mm-hmm. That's still an attribute. That's still a trait that we have, especially in a pin pull scheme. How about Amon St. Brown? Dog. He's a dog at blocking. You hear him talk about his podcast. Yeah, after this block, every week you're getting in with DBs because he's blocking them too aggressively. He's been fined for blocking too aggressively. We got dogs at blocking at wide receivers too. I'm telling you, and I know it was last time, but it's such a key to the game. Jahmyr Gibbs, I promise he's going to cook. Matter of fact, I'm about to pull up the numbers when we get back.
You know what this tells me? We've been saying it for weeks. When's the game where the Lions just say, F all this, we're a running team? And that's no discredit to Goff, because Goff has been phenomenal in the playoffs passing the ball. But this team built with the offensive line, built with the best running back duo in the NFL, when are they just going to say, F all this, we're running? And those numbers, plus the level of opponent that they're playing, tell me that this weekend they should be not trying to get cute. You know, Ben Johnson is Ben Johnson. He's always going to cook up something. He's always going to cook up some type of look. But when is the game where this team predominantly runs the ball versus pass? Mm-hmm. I think this has to be the game. This has to be the game. And if they do that, if they actually commit to that, we've been saying that against Tampa. We've been saying that against the Rams. We've been saying that against all these teams. Hey, these games are tough. When it's time to win, just run the ball. We've been saying that all season. This is the time to do it. Mm-hmm. Now.
Well, part of the running the ball has to do with our guy Ayotte, who's filling in for Jonah Jackson. And I think his strength is probably in running the football, but he still has to keep up Jared Goff. And I was kind of wondering, guys, because I saw a stat. And despite Ayotte, I think we have a screenshot for this one, Chris, if you want to put it up. Despite Ayotte playing just barely over a half after the injury to Jonah Jackson, he's let up the most pressures throughout the entire playoffs at the guard position at 7.
Jeez.
Here it is right here. And this is actually from, I think it's Detroit Illustrated. I have to find them on Instagram or Twitter. Make sure you guys give him a follow. It's a great follow, honestly. But, yeah, so Coyote has me nervous for the game. Ayote's given up more pressures than any guard in the postseason with 7. He's only played a little over one half. I just got to know where you guys at with that one, because this 49ers defense is nice.
They got some dogs.
Remember Jason Hargrave, part of that Philadelphia defensive line? They grabbed him. They paid him $20 million a year for it, you know. KG, I guess I'll start with you. Be kind of quiet there. How you feeling about Ayotte? Confidence level?
I'm a little nervous, man, because he just doesn't have the playing experience, man. And you know, in this game, the 49ers are definitely going to target that area of our offensive line. That is probably the easiest route to them getting in the backfield and to them kind of slowing up some of those runs, man. So I'm a little nervous, man, but all you can really hope is that this kid steps up. I'm sure he'll be in a rotation kind of with Kobe Sora's dog going in and out. And he'll have help. Like you said, they're really good at pulling linemen on some of those runs and stuff like that. So I don't think he'll have help, man. It won't just be all on him. But in pass protection, like you said, he has to make sure he's doing the best he can do, because we have to keep Goff upright in order to have any success passing the ball on the offensive side of the ball. So we'll see, man. But they're going to target him, so I hope he's ready.
Yeah, I mean, I think you brought up a great point. And that's like, whatever you want to say about Jared Goff, wherever you are with the belief of like what he is and what he's not, I think one attribute that he needs to be the best version of himself is that offensive line. I think you heard Kyle Shanahan say it. I actually heard myself say it. Neil Rule, who sits in your chair from 11-1, that's been his complaint at times. Jared Goff hasn't shown up. He went and blamed the offensive line, but it is true. If we know he's not mobile, that it is what it is. Like it's whatever. But if you keep him upright, and you got a good system and good players, he's gonna gas you. He's gonna do damage. And with Ayotte in there, 7 pressures and only played half of football. Like, bro, that's not good.
It's not good, but you know what? Dan Campbell just spoke about it, and we played it in the last segment, right? Gibbs' improvement as a pass blocker.
Yeah.
And, like, these type of things are going to matter because, you know, they obviously, that Lions coaching staff is smarter than us. They see that man needs help.
Yeah.
That man needs help. And so they're gonna figure that out.
Milk.
They're gonna figure it out, man. They're going to figure out ways to, you know, disguise them. It's like in the NBA when you got a player that's not good on defense. You find a way to hide him. You put him on the non-shooter. Like I'm sure that Hank Fraley, Ben Johnson, this offensive staff is going to be able to figure out ways to mask his deficiencies, and they're going to have to because, like that tweet said, this is a team with some dogs that are going to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. So I have faith that they'll figure it out, and I have faith that Jared Goff can get the ball off quickly to some playmakers. I mean, you got a lot of quick playmakers to get it off to. You got J-Mo, you got Monty, you got Amon-Ra, you got Laporta. Like, you got the options.
Only reason
you know what?
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think it's okay to be nervous, man. This NFC Championship is uncharted waters and uncharted territory for us as fans and for the Detroit Lions' entire organization, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So look, and it's a good team. I think going in and kind of underestimating your opponent or going into this matchup and just believing it's going to be a cakewalk, nah, we can't really do that. Especially when we know that one of our weaknesses right now, not the offensive line, but at least Ayotte, going up against one of their strengths. Yeah, I think it's fair to actually break this thing down and look at where are some places, because you don't think Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell, and AG are going and sitting down and saying, okay, these are our weaknesses, these are their strengths, these are our strengths, these are our weaknesses. How are we going to scheme around this? What personnel do we need to be able to have this thing go in our favor? And honestly, out of the first two games we saw, I heard that Stafford was supposed to carve up the Lions and beat us. That's what I was hearing from people.
You carved them up.
But that's what the Lions do between the 20s. I'm going to continue to give that. Between the 20s, they're going to let that happen. You get in the red zone, Stafford, just send out your field goal unit. You know what I'm saying? And that's whatever scheme they have to hide their deficiencies, they have found a way to do that, man. Whether it's through, you know, I've seen some people in the chat saying, hey, we're going to have an extra blocker in there. You know what? If they want to honestly focus all of their energy on Ayotte, I feel like that plays more into Ben Johnson's hands than anything else. Like, okay, you guys really, really, really want to do that? You're going to let somebody, it's going to be some player that is open, some player that he can scheme open, some player that he can get into space. And the thing that I love about the Detroit Lions receiving core overall is that when they catch the ball, they're quick, they're fast, they're getting yards after the catch, man. I absolutely love that. And so if you're talking about trying to apply the pressure, if you're talking about trying to blow up the Lions in the backfield, honestly, if Ben Johnson is on his game, I think he can actually counter that pretty well. Not just with the wide receivers, not just with the tight ends. Because think about it, man. I would be super nervous, but then I just think like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs. The only thing that makes me
feel nervous about like the quick game is Fred Warner.
I feel that.
Because the quick game, you're looking at like usually the intermediate routes, like in the middle of the field, like that's where that man patrols, and Drake Kinlaw too. You know what I'm saying? That, I guess that's the only thing where it kind of meshes up as like an issue for me. But as you said, I mean, again, as long as they capitalize on that run game, and that's like they got to cheat to that side, or they're motioning guys to that side, or just get them in that rhythm, that pace. Then I think you're able to, again, like you said, just kind of, I guess, shy away from that. Not don't allow them to make that a strength of theirs. Focus on your strength first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I guess that'd be the way to do it, right? I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, and that made me think of a question because the Niners, they like to just rush forward and drop a lot of guys into coverage.
Yeah.
Do you think they need to change their game plan up? Do you think they'll attack us differently, maybe blitz more? Because, like I said, it's pick your poison. Either you want to rush forward and try and play coverage and have Jared Goff tear you up, or you're going to try and play for the run and you're going to try to be more aggressive and get in the backfield. What do you think? I
think they're rushing the forward, man. Because I started, because when I got nervous, I started writing down their names. Obviously, we know they got Nick Bosa. Obviously, we know they got Chase Young. We got Jason Hargrave. You got Randy Gregory. You got Eric Armstead.
Man.
It's
not even fair, man.
Yeah, like, this is crazy. And like Armstead, Gregory, those guys can bounce inside they need to, on top of being like, you know, elite pass rushers. So I think we just have to establish our pace, our game first.
Yeah, what's crazy to me though,
I think Ben Johnson said that today too. He's like, as long as we're out there moving with speed and knowing what we got to do.
We have that video, right? Isn't that the video?
Is it
you
Ben?
sent?
Yeah, actually, I think we do. Put it out there. I think it's what we got. Is it Ben?
Yeah.
What I was going to say real quick, too, is that I see the Lions offense. They've been attacking the middle of the field. You see Josh Reynolds there. You see Amon-Ra St. Brown there. And they'll do it like the first half of the game, or at least like the first quarter. Then all of a sudden, you see Sam Laporta up the seam wide open. Like, why is he just wide open? And I think it's because of the way that Ben Johnson has been setting up opposing defenses to kind of bite. You know, I do believe that San Francisco 49ers are going to try and take away what looks like to be the bread and butter, because when you think about Josh Reynolds and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and even J-Mo in recent weeks, where they're catching that ball, it's generally been over the middle of the field. Then when you see Sam Laporta catch the ball, it's usually in the seam or on the outside. I do believe, like, that's why I keep saying, like, I think they have the recipe to handle, not that I'm taking San Francisco's defense light, but I really do, with all of the pass catchers that they do have. Do they have that one absolute CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson? Maybe not. But do they have a lot of solid wide receivers with speed, who run routes crisp, who catch the ball even with defenses draped all over them?
Yeah.
They do.
Well, that's the thing, is like getting Jared Goff enough time to make those throws. That's the son of the Yodi thing.
Yeah.
But when we get back, we do got that video from Ben Johnson. But first, I got to tell you guys, actually, Kool-Aid's got to tell us about Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone, where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you will experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all of this for just $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. Visit your local Planet Fitness today, or visit them online at planetfitness.com.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new Down Home Comfort Dishes. Feast on homestyle goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The Down Home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of Down Home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions!
With money on the line. Featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Give your pet lion the best. Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the conveniences of the online and big box retailers, with one major difference. Family and locally owned and operated for 30 plus years. Over 60 brands of food and nutrition experts to help you. Same day, local curbside and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupply.com. You know, I got a whole pet lion.
Turn on the
bro.
tape. I would love to think that you see us playing with speed and attitude.
How about that?
Speed and attitude. We talk about that from day one, and hopefully when you turn it on, that's what's showing up each and every week.
What up, though? Welcome back to the World Heavyweights Live on Sports.com. What were you saying, Kool-Aid?
I would say, you know, I got a whole pet lion at home for this playoff run.
What?
Let's say I got a whole pet lion at home for this playoff run.
A whole pet lion?
Yeah, I got a whole pet lion, bro.
Oh, pet lion. I think it's a pet lion.
It's Jalak too.
Smash that like button. Eazy, that's Detroit Kool-Aid. Chris Platte. We got KG on the ones and twos. That was a video from Ben Johnson. I think he's. I mean, obviously he's fucking right. That guy knows more football. He's forgotten more football in the last half hour than I know. So if that's his take, I mean, I'm gonna go with it. Attack with speed and aggression, and just know what we're doing out there. And I think we're able to do that. This offense has been one that's in play for 2 years now, and the only two new additions, I believe, is just that Jameer and Laporta, right? I mean, who else was a piece of what we got going on last year? I think, yeah, that's it. The only two new guys.
What was the question again?
Oh, Dave Montgomery.
Oh, yes.
He's just talking about like just attack with like speed and aggression. Just know like what your role is, and I think we got that. I think we do got that. I'm gonna say this defense won for when we have Bryant McFadden on, because he just happens to be part of two Super Bowl championships that were spearheaded by a defense with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, sir.
So let me just jump into this one, because Kool-Aid, you mentioned this a little bit earlier too. Was CBS or someone did a breakdown.
Here we go.
QB, running back, receiver. Yeah. I have a question, because this is a graphic, right? But they mean like groups, or are they talking about like just those specific players they use in the pictures?
I think they were talking about the groups, but they were highlighting the kind of the player that probably puts it over the edge.
Here's the offense one.
Yeah.
They disrespect the offensive one. All right. Quarterback. Whatever, man. Quarterback could be a toss-up. I'm not going to be mad.
Let me just sneak that in there real quick.
What was this? Jared Goff and Brock Purdy ranked top 5 touchdowns 2023. Yeah.
Man, he over there in the TD booth just spinning.
That's fine. To be fair, Brock Purdy did take off that last game.
Yeah.
But either way, running back, okay.
If it's just one.
Yeah, if you're just one. That's what I'm saying. Is the players in the picture, okay, Christian McCaffrey makes sense. But you're talking about a running back stable? Am I being a fanboy to say that's for 110% the Detroit Lions without a question?
No. I don't think you're being a fanboy.
Am I being a fanboy, kid? I mean, is that objective, right? Like, we got two.
They've been called the best running back duo in the league since about, week 5, I think? Week 4 or 5? People started calling them that?
Yeah. I guess I can say this to that point, is that I guess Kyle Shanahan, even when Christian McCaffrey did go down for a little bit, he did make things shake still. But the wide receiver part.
Right. Yeah. Ayuk over Amon-Ra? Come on now.
What are we doing, guys?
What are we doing?
That's the
and
wild
again,
one.
not to mention the depth of the field too, right? Like, especially considering that Debo is questionable, like, for this matchup. So I feel like no matter which way you factor it, the Lions win that one. So that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then to put up just to go over the last ones too. Tight end. This one's probably the most blasphemous.
Is it?
George Kittle's great, but like what Sam Laporta did this year.
I'm not mad at tight
I'm not
end.
mad at that one.
I'm not mad at
Receiver's
tight
most
end.
blasphemous for me.
Yeah, Kittle gets a slight advantage over Laporta, but
true.
Just a slight one, man. It's really debatable. If you wanted to put Laporta up there, I wouldn't be mad at that either. But
I think
it is really close.
Wasn't Laporta's numbers better this year, or no?
I think he had him beating everything but yards. I think Kittle had him in yards, but Kittle's also been just doing the damn thing. Yeah. So it's like you got
I'll probably make tight end a tie,
and then
tight end a tie. Where are you with this, Kool-Aid? What are you?
Man,
let's start with quarterback, because you weren't here for that conversation we had Tuesday.
Look, if we're talking about the playoffs right now, I believe that Jared Goff has been a better quarterback so far in the playoffs than Brock Purdy. So if I'm gonna start there, I would have to go with Jared Goff. Honestly, man, he's played clean football. We know he had a couple scares, but he's played clean football. He's kept his team in a position to win each of these games. And honestly, he's battled some tough games, man. Some tough quarterbacks as well on the opposing team. When you get down to the running backs, obviously, if it's just a singular running back, you got to go with CMC. He's just the man. But if you're going with the stable, like you called it, man, I don't know. I kind of like what the Lions bring to the table, both in the red zone, both in space. I like both catching the ball at the backfield. I like what they bring to the table. Now, Christian McCaffrey, though, he's a game changer. He's a game changer. So I can't be too mad at that right there. But tight end, at the very least, man, it's a tie. I want to go with my bias and say Sam Laporta clears. But I guess I got to say it's a tie, especially with the Lions dealing with some injuries there. You going to say something, bro?
Yeah, and Kool-Aid, to your point about the quarterbacks, Brock Purdy, he's been, clean for the most. He hasn't really thrown any interceptions. But to me, the number that differentiates the two is completion percentage, man. Like, through 2 games, Goff has a 75% completion percentage. And I think Brock Purdy's is 59%. And I know he only played 1 game, but to me, if since you can't separate it by turnovers, then I think that's the metric that you should go by, man.
Yep. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, obviously, they got the offensive line right.
Yeah.
There's no way that they could give that to the San Francisco 49ers. The Lions, even with the injury, they're still pretty talented, which should, Eazy, it should make you a little bit more confident.
Yeah. Because, I mean, look at this. Look at this, man. There's a reason they put only Penne on there when they said offensive line.
Big Penne.
Highest playoff run block grade in PFF history.
I feel it's fairly close, these matchups. Like, I'm not too upset like looking at that because I feel like you can go either way. Receivers are like where I get a little because I don't know if they're going off the receiving group or just like a particular player. But Ayuk is like, in all due respect to Ayuk, he is cold. I think he's one of the coldest like route runners. But that is Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's not even like up for debate. If you want to do groups, okay, because then you throw in Debo on top of Ayuk, then you got to go with them. Yeah. But if he's not, I mean, it is what it is. I wanted to do this. If you had to power rank the players just in this matchup in general, it is tough for me. I'm trying to make my list right now because I've scratched out 2 other ones.
Yeah.
Who is the best player in this game? Just had to show like the best like out of both teams.
Christian McCaffrey, I would say.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one. You had on my list. This is crazy.
Let me hear it.
I said I raced it and restarted. I had Bosa 1, then I raced and restarted. Put Penne 1. But see, I can race and restart. Put CMC 1.
Yeah. I was thinking Penne, honestly, man.
Penne number 1.
I would put him
but it's
like
Christian
2 or 3.
McCaffrey, yeah. You got to go with CMC. I can't be that biased.
All right.
Best back in the league.
Yeah.
All
it's
right,
not
CMC.
just the best back. It's like he's a game-changing back. Like
out the backfield
he affects
too.
the entire game, man.
All right. So I'll put CMC number 1. I have no issue with that. Number 2. Am I biased if I put Penne?
No.
I'm putting Penne.
He can't be no lower than 3 in my eyes.
Oh my God, Trent Williams in this matchup too. What the fuck?
This is a talented.
This is crazy to do.
It's a lot.
Power rank the players in this game. These are really good teams.
The more we do this, the more nervous Eazy gets, man.
I know, man.
This show, he started off very confident, and as we've continued on, he's like, "Oh man."
No, I mean, listen. I'm gonna talk my ish. We're gonna beat.
That should
them,
be a
but-
segment tomorrow.
What?
Power ranking.
Power ranking.
Top 10.
Yeah, it was today. But he was doing some. This. All right, we gotta go commercial break anyway. You want to come back, well researched, do the top 10 tomorrow?
Sure.
You
Yeah,
guys
let's
do
do
that.
that.
Let's do
You gonna
it.
do it when we come back? All right. Well, let's go to break then. Tell us about Lady Jane's Kool-Aid.
Lady Jane's. Come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams. And all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tourney. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
At work and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
At Planet Fitness, you can get energy without the judgment.
Hi, can you help me with this?
You don't know how to use it?
This is better.
Join now through January 19th for just 24 cents down, $10 a month. Never intimidating. Always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Join today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for 24 cents down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal extended through January 19th.
Over 50 Metro Detroit locations.
What up, though? Welcome back to the Woodward Voice Live on Sports.com.
Bro,
I'm more Eazy jump Kool-Aid.
We need a side stream. We need a side stream for when the commercials are going, man.
Hey, we do, man. Hey, shout out to Burn in the Woodward Sports Chat. By the way, we got KG in the ones too. Smash that like button for everybody here. He says the Lions have, this is from Burn, Super Chat, $5. Shout out.
Hey, shout out.
I'm going to give you my cash app, though, Burn, because I need a laptop. All right, my new laptop. He says the Lions have the 9th most passes over 20 yards. The 49ers are bottom of the league in passes over 20 yards. They don't trust Purdy to throw deep.
He's a dink and dunk guy.
He is.
He is.
Yeah, I mean that's what. There's very much. Like, he has his moments. Like obviously, he got a touchdown to Kittle like last week. Yeah, it was a little bit of a deeper one. I don't know if it went 20 yards or not, but.
And I keep saying dual threat. Yeah. He keeps
dual
posting
threat.
29th ranked pass defense. Purdy not worried about y'all. Okay, Baker wasn't worried either. These quarterbacks will get their yards. Will they get their touchdowns? That's what I'm going to continue to say. The Lions have continued to do this. What did Dak do? Did he get his touchdowns? No. That's what I'm talking about. They scored 20 points against this Lions defense. Did they get carved up between the 20s? They sure did. But did they give up much more beyond that? They sure did not. And Brock Purdy, to me, he's not the same type of quarterback, the big game, big arm guy that some of the quarterbacks we've beaten already this season or played pretty tough. And when you talk about when you talk about the beating that they put on Matthew Stafford, and how physical they played with Baker Mayfield,
beat the dog shit out of Matthew Stafford,
bro, those highlights were crazy. When I went back, it gave me flashbacks to like his rookie and his second year with the Lions, man, when he was absolutely getting pummeled. I haven't seen him getting hit like that in a while. Now I know with the Rams, he's been sacked a lot of times, but the QB hits, it's like the game within the game. You know, what's happening when the quarterback throws the ball and the cameras follow, but then you see the replay and you're like, yo, they just smacked him. They smacked him. That stuff builds up over the course of a game. When we were watching the national championship game between Michigan and Washington, we were talking about how Michigan's defense was punishing him. And what? They were limping out the stadium by the end of the game.
Yeah, Michael Penix was cooked.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Brock Purdy's 0 for 1 making out of an NFC championship game.
That's facts. Hey, that's a great point. And you know, to be honest with you, I'm glad there's 49ers fans in the chat. I'm glad these guys are here because this is an opportunity for myself, Kool-Aid, KG, Chris, to educate you on what you're stepping into. Because our defense gives up some yards, but there's it's by strategy. And actually, we have Dan Campbell speaking on this for themselves. Take these words to heart. We got something else from AG coming too.
What do you like most about what your defense is doing right now, and how would you describe the moxie within that locker room with that group?
Yeah, we're disruptive. We're disruptive. We're aggressive, and we hit. And that, to me, has got to be what we're about. You know, those are the principles. Look, we may get hit on a couple of things, and I know for me, I'm willing to give up something to get something. And sometimes you got to, things may happen, but that's okay because it'll pay dividends by the time you hit the fourth quarter. And I think that's what we're doing. I think it is a salty group. They play hard. They're pretty sound. And we're competitive. I think AG's done a hell of a job of mixing things up. We've got enough coverage versus pressure there. We're starting to figure out, some of our better pressure players, guys that can do that on the perimeter. And I think you see our confidence going up. It's really gone up over the last 6 weeks. We started hot, and then we just kind of hit a rough patch, and then we came through it, and we're on an uptick right now. We got 2 takeaways the other day, which is huge, and that's got to continue for us. But I go back to the way we're playing there, the way we play on offense and special teams. It's the right recipe.
And you know what, man? I love what he said, that you got to give up something to get something. That kind of plays into what we're talking about and what the stats prove about how these quarterbacks might get their yards between the 20s, but they can't really seem to punch it home. And you know what else I love about this, man? It seems like they've been setting these teams up because all game they play a certain style of defense where Cam Sutton is out there on the island. You know what? God bless you for your sacrifices, bro, because you are, man. Oh, my gosh. But what winds up happening in these games? Y'all remember how Justin Jefferson looked at the end of that Vikings game?
Yeah.
What happened, though?
Got beat up.
But it was an interception in the game, right? What happened with Baker Mayfield? It was an interception in the game. What changed with the coverage at the end of that game that baited these quarterbacks into believing that it was going to be the same type of single coverage? That's what I'm saying. Like, they're smart, man.
That's true.
The Lions coordinators, the Lions coaches, the schemes, the players, they've been really smart. And that wasn't the only time. They've ended several games this season like that by getting a game-sealing interception, man. And it's what they do with their coverages towards the end of that game. So, yeah, during the game, these quarterbacks get comfortable. And at the end of the game, when you're beat up, at the end of the game, when you're like, yo, I got to go back to my bread and butter, all of a sudden you're looking at a completely different coverage that's taking away what you thought was going to be there. And it's always to those receivers, so that star receiver, and all of a sudden it's an interception. Yeah. I absolutely love it, man. And I'm glad that he honestly talked about it. I really am.
One thing that I emphasis on, I guess this year especially, is just context. I feel like numbers never lie until it comes to the sport of football, right? You could have all these crazy stats, like a Dallas Cowboys against these cupcake teams, but when you face a real team, shit ain't sweet. It's just not the same. Numbers, Detroit Lions defense is exactly how you said it. We'll give up something to make something. It's the fighter phrase: take a punch to land a punch. Yeah, that's exactly what we are. And that's exactly what we do. In AG, he said it before, too, in the past. Like, if it's up to him, he'd be in man coverage and blitzes all day. And that's the point of emphasis, as you said, Kool-Aid. And Dan Campbell said this in his press conference. That's how much of a badass he is. He'll tell you how to whoop your ass. You got to stop it. Man. But they're gonna.
He drinks 100% whole milk.
You know what I'm saying? You mentioned the Matthew Stafford game. I think that's a perfect example, right? We're gonna blitz you. We're gonna hit you. We're gonna beat you up. We're gonna wear you down to the end of the game. And that's when you're going to make those mistakes.
49ers fans Rams fans was crying like, y'all stepped on Matthew Stafford.
I think they're still
crying. You guys pushed him down on the ground.
Yeah, Rams
You guys hit him. It's just like, get out of here, bro. It's football.
Again, glad the 49ers fans are here. You guys are more than welcome to be here. We also have a clip from AG. What he had to say about this defense. He was asked to sum it up in one word. He had a lot more than one to say.
Use just one word to describe your defense, what would it be and why?
Hey, shout out Jennifer Hammond.
That's a good question. When we talk about gritty, that's who we are. Listen, we know exactly who we are. Are we the fastest? Are we the most talented? No. But we'll bite somebody's face off when we go play them.
I'm sorry. More cannibalism quotes? We're going to bite your face. Listen, they know what they are. Yeah. Like they know, like they don't have the personnel to just man up with you and like guard the pass all day, but they are set it up what they are good at, and like we said, like you said, yeah, it's beating on that ass. Pause. All game long.
Yeah,
all game long until you can't take no more. It's just it is what it is.
Yep.
And that's how they're intentional with that. AG did a podcast with Adam Schefter last year in the offseason. He was like, "Yeah, I want to bring back the physicality of football." Like we just got some dogs all around our team. KG.
Yeah, man. Y'all said it perfect, man. I agree with everything y'all saying, man. It is definitely more strategy at this point. It is what it is, man. We can't sign no corner at this point in the season, man. You got to just make do with what we got. But AG has done that, man. And as much as we give, like, players like Kendall Vildor and, you know, Cam Sutton recently a lot of grief, man, it's not like they get burnt constantly. It's not like they don't make any plays at all, you know. They do, and more times than not, later in the game, come up with game-saving type plays, bro. AG is doing what he can, and you just got to hope that he can continue this run that he's on. But the only stat that really matters is the W. Like you said, they can get as much yardage as they want, but as long as they not scoring touchdowns, we good, man. The W is what matters at the end of the day, and that's what they continue to do.
Yep, and you know why it works? Because on the opposite end of that, Goff is going down, and this offense is putting touchdowns on the board, man.
Yeah, complimentary football.
That's where it absolutely works for them, man. When you can force this other team, maybe you give up a touchdown, maybe you give up 2 touchdowns, but you're forcing this team to kick field goals while you guys are going down in sometimes a blink of an eye in scoring. Like, it's been crazy the amount of times I've seen Jared Goff lead 70-plus yard touchdown drives. I'm just like, this is nice. I could get used to this, man. While the defense is holding people off. Like, I remember the Stafford years, man. It was a lot of times where it was like, yo, we're going to have to win in a shootout if we're going to have an opportunity to win, even though we had a defense that I thought, in terms of the overall players, was a little bit better than what we have right now. And that's why I do give a lot of credit to what AG is doing. It was something that I know Eazy and Spinney were calling for, too. They were like, look, if you're not going to add the personnel, then please scheme something up a little bit different. And something changed, man. Something changed about, like, game, what we say, like 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. Something changed with what this team is doing.
The Broncos game, when
it was
when if he came into his own, this defense, and AG, I feel like as a play caller, has got like a whole new confidence, and I just feel like he was really waiting for him to get healthy because he, as I said before, he loved to live in man coverage and blitzes. We have a Fontu Melifonwu, he's been able to do that. CJ back now, he's been able to do that. Brian Branch, he's been able to like utilize like that system that he believes in. And let me tell you something, too, because I get the numbers, right? You look at the passing yards. It's crazy. Since the Broncos game, you want the point totals of teams we face?
Yeah.
The Broncos, 17 points. Lots of yards, only 17 points. Minnesota Vikings, almost threw for like 347 yards, I think. Nick Bowen did. 24 points.
Oh, that's it?
Dallas Cowboys, at home.
That was going to be a shootout,
who
right?
averaged 39.98 points per game. 19 points.
Beautiful.
I'm sorry, 20 points. I apologize.
Yeah, they lost 21-20.
I apologize. Yeah, exactly. 20 points. Vikings, 20 points. Rams, 23 points. Bucks, 23 points. You can look at those yards all you want and feel good about it, but as Kool-Aid said, between the 20s, okay, get cute. Like you're gonna be able to take advantage of us. But we know what we got when it comes between the red zone. And the red zone's hey, Detroiters know what the red zone is.
Oh yeah.
All right. That's when it gets dangerous.
Oh yeah.
All right. You know what it is when you get in the red zone.
I love Preacher Eazy.
And this team has embodied that too.
No, it's real.
Talk to him, KG.
When the last time somebody scored 25 against us, let alone 30, you know, you got to go all the way back to the Seahawk game for anybody to get over 30 on this, man. So that's the key, man. That's the biggest stat of them all.
And that's why it's so crazy to me to see so many people making such a big deal about the yards that they give up. You know what I mean? When they go and they do their whole, hey, who has the better secondary? They're going to say that the opposing team has the better secondary than the Lions. Hey, who has the better overall defense? They're always going to pick that. And then all of a sudden, they go and say, man, they're giving up all these yards. They're giving up all these yards. I'm like, hey, the personnel is what it is. But this team has consistently found a way, like I said, because of these coaches, because of the way that the players buy into it, to elevate their game and come away with big, big plays, man.
Yeah.
And that's what I said, like, seeing it over and over and over again, seeing it against Dallas, seeing it against Justin Jefferson and the Vikings, seeing it against the Rams, seeing it against the Bucks. That's why I'm like, I'm not as nervous as when we played against Kansas City first game of the season, when we went into Lambeau and didn't know exactly what to expect. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to keep saying it. That's our personal house of horrors until this year. You know what I mean? Going up against Dallas, not knowing what to expect, man. Some of these games, it was just like, yo, what are they going to do? Everybody continued to say also that we can't win a shootout with Jared Goff as our quarterback, right? And then we went out to the Chargers and did what? We won a shootout. We won a shootout on the road,
with
man.
an elite quarterback, too. Against an elite quarterback, I should say.
That's exactly what I am talking about, man. So it's like throughout this season, especially the playoffs kind of being like the frosting and the cherry on top, I've gotten less nervous and more confident about what this team can be, especially on the defensive side of the ball. It makes me like we got business to handle and to finish this year, but it makes me really, really, really interested about whatever Brad Holmes is going to do to beef up the defense for years to come as well. Yeah,
I think, I mean, it's kind of like Ben Johnson, right? This is like a nod to like them being great coaches is they know what they have, and they're going to cook to the strengths of what they have. Like Ben Johnson, Jared Goff, I think he mentioned it today, is like, yeah, we instead of like throwing down a playbook and be like, this is what we're running, this is what I've done my whole career. No, he sat down with Jared Goff. What are you good at? What are you great at? Let's watch some of your film together. That's what I think you do. That's what I think we should stay away from. Okay, let's go with the strengths. Same thing with AG that we're witnessing here right now. Listen, we're not going to be great in coverage. We're just not. We're kind of depleted. We're supposed to have Emmanuel Mosley out there, who San Francisco 49ers gave us a little bit of intel, shot to him. But also, we know when it comes to that red zone, we got playmakers. I put it on my Twitter the other night. Is I posted a video about us like stopping them once we forced Brock Purdy to throw with the safeties. It's like, yeah, you could look at these cornerbacks all you want and have some stuff to say, but when that area gets condensed, those playmaking safeties that we have, they're going to be all over those opportunities to turn the ball over. But when we get back, or at some point when we get back, again, once more, Bryant McFadden, two-time Super Bowl champion, DB, will be joining the show, talk about the Detroit Lions secondary and more. For the 49ers fans that aren't familiar with the Red Zone, that's the 48205. I think it is 48209. They call it. It's a dangerous area, Detroit, Rebel area. The Red Zone's where Detroit's most dangerous. But before we get to any of that, I got to tell you guys about Fairway Pack on them, because for over 60 years, we've provided Michigan's finest hotels, restaurants, and casinos with prime Wagyu beef, dry-aged beef, and more. You can deliver to your door at fairwaypacking.com or stop for grab-and-go steaks at Fairway Packing in Grosse Pointe.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports Crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions!
With money on the line, featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch? It's a new era in sports wearables, new design, amazing appeal, the ultimate swag. Check out Woodward Sports' latest gear at woodwardsports.com by clicking the shop tab. Hoodies, tees, hats, all guaranteed to turn heads. Get the latest designs, the latest gear today at woodwardsports.com and click the shop tab.
What up, though? Welcome back to World Heavyweights Live on sports.com. I'm your boy Eazy, joined my guy Spin. Oh, my gosh. There you go again. Detroit It's when I'm looking down, I'm not paying attention. I'm trying to go autopilot.
Right.
Joined by Detroit Kool-Aid, Young Chris, KG on the 1-2. Smash that like button, be a friend.
Sorry,
friend.
I'm the Gillette Spinny.
Huh?
I'm the Gillette
Spinny. Yeah, the Gillette
Spinny.
Spinny, yeah. You've been on, what, morning show? BD?
Yeah.
This man working hard.
Now I got to go home for that,
Okay.
and then got back here for the heavies, man. This is the fun show, right?
Are you on 3 shows? Every day?
Yesterday I was. Today,
Okay.
no. But
So for you, it's just us and the Knights?
yeah, supposed to be anyway.
Sith Lord Kenny over there.
Yeah, are you hot? Or
Nah.
cold?
Nah, I'm chilling, man.
He's in game mode.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Come on, man.
Can you, after like coming in, I guess at this point in the show, like you feel better or worse about the Detroit Lions winning this game?
I've been confident the whole time. I would say I've been about the same, because I'm at about probably an 8 if we going 10 to 10. You of course Ayoade or was it Coyote? I think that's his name. Coyote starting does concern me a little bit, but thankfully Frank Ragnow is still playing, and I feel like they have a plan, man. They do have a plan. Whether it works or not is yet to be seen, but I'm confident in what this Lions team can do. I mean, at this point, how could you not? They got all the way here, and that's not for no reason. So we just got to line them up, man. That's what I always say. Line them up. Let's see it.
That's where I'm at too, man. I'm gonna get Bryant connected with us. I guess we're having some technical difficulties. I'm gonna give him the phone number and just have him call in. Is that cool with you?
Yeah.
You got Kool-Aid catches any situation with that?
Yeah. All
right, cool. I'm gonna give him the phone number. Shout out to VMix. It's the best in the game. I would recommend it to my worst enemy. This morning I was walking like down my hallway, and I was like F it, like we're winning this game, like. And then when we got to the Ayoade stuff, I got a little bit more nervous again, but I think we got like the playmakers to. It's gonna be a game no matter what.
We do. That's why all I'm saying it comes down to is, will the offensive line hold? And this is a great offensive line, but it is injured, and it is going against a very good defensive line. So that to me is the whole key. I have all the trust in the world in Dan Campbell, Ben Johnson, and Aaron Glenn in their game plans and their tactical approach to cook up the right game plan. It's about can these players physically execute, and they've shown that they can do that at a high level this season, obviously being here. So they have all the chance in the world. 3-4 weeks ago, I was telling people, hey, I think we can get to the NFC Championship, but we're going to be smoked by the 49ers. Now, I believe that it's really a possibility. It's a pick-em game. I really do believe that it's gotten that close because of the transformation of the defense, and like you guys have pointed out with the defense, it's all schematic.
Yeah,
it's all schematic, so it's sustainable.
And speaking of sustainable, nothing sustains on a resume quite like 2 Super Bowl championships. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I was saying have him call it.
Oh yeah, he said he called. My bad. Keep going, Chris. I apologize.
No, I mean. I think that's just the key. It's the offensive line. I think that's the offensive, and then defensively, it's can you get enough pressure on Purdy to make him uncomfortable. I believe in that because of Branch and Iffy. You know, we've talked about that front line, and we still don't know James Houston. How confident are you guys that James Houston's actually going to play this Sunday? Because we've been confident for the last 3 Sundays.
That's a great topic.
And if he's a go, plus what Iffy and Branch have been able to do to pressure the quarterback, then this becomes not only a team that can't pressure the quarterback, but a team that actually can really pressure the quarterback among the best of them in the NFL. So I think that's a possibility. Kool-Aid, where are you at with it?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good question there. We've been confident that he's going to play. The news has come out, and our brother's been down there, kind of giving us the videos, giving us the update.
I said some AG today. He didn't sound too confident.
Yeah. James Houston himself has been ready to go though.
Yeah,
that we know. But the Lions, man, they have their own game plan. They have their own way that they're going to do things. Obviously, they have him activated. I want to see James Houston out there, especially in a position like this, in a game like this, in the big moment like this. I want to see him out there, get all your dogs out there. I get if you believe that you could have schemed something up for the first 2 games, but against the 49ers, I'm hoping to have all the dogs that can go out there.
Speaking of dogs, we got Bryant McFadden on the phone, 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Eazy is the transition
Pittsburgh
god.
Steeler. Hey, I listen. When I started watching football, Bryant McFadden was one of those dogs out there that got me into it. I remember specifically the Steelers are one of my favorite teams. What up, Bryant? You there?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How y'all doing? Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, I appreciate you taking the time to join us, man, in the presence of a champion. I got to ask you, man, because you played the secondary and you were part of defenses that spearheaded themselves to becoming champions. How you feeling about my Lions secondary in this matchup, man? Are we cooked? Is there a chance of some of these playmakers like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson or what?
Man, I like their chances, man. The Lions secondary, I like their chances. I think they're a very, very opportunistic group, especially when they're healthy. Of course, when you look at the secondary play throughout the season, we've seen some ups and we've seen some downs, and I think that had a lot to do with the reason why we saw that was because we saw different faces in different places. And that happens when you have a lot of injuries to key players. But when you factor in, like you mentioned, getting Gardner Johnson back, he's like the tone setter for their defense. He gets everybody rolling, and that's the mentality the entire defense they will need this Sunday against San Francisco. Everybody got to be on their best. Everybody got to do their best for 4 quarters, and keep the mistakes at a minimum.
Is there a way to Band-Aid? Because I think our safeties are dogs. Our safeties and Brian Branch at the nickel spot, too. I think he's a dog, too. But, that outside corner spot, is there a way to Band-Aid that? Or is it just always kind of it is what it is until we get in that red zone?
There is certain ways to kind of put a Band-Aid over it. But me personally, when you look at the nature of the game in the NFL, especially in between the 20s, offenses are going to do numbers. Wide receivers are going to catch passes. I believe if defenses can play their best football in the red zone, you will always be in positions to win ball games. I call that defense elbow defense. It bends, but it doesn't break. And that has to be the calling card for the Lions defense. Yes, they're going to bend. They're going to bend a lot. You guys are Lions fans. You guys should know that. You've seen your defense bend a lot. But when they buckle down in the red zone like they did last week, like they did throughout the season, that's when you're playing high-level football. Red zone efficiency is super important on either side of the football field, offensively and defensively. If you can win those battles, you will be in position to win ball games, especially in tournament football, playoff football. If you can limit teams to kick field goals, you're going to be in a good situation.
Now, back in your day, a savvy defender like yourself, if you had a matchup like against a Brock Purdy, what is going through the mind of I guess of a defender in that standpoint, like a second-year quarterback? Actually, what is your opinion on him when it comes to like the whole game manager versus I don't want to call him a game changer, but I guess what is your opinion of Brock Purdy and as a defender, I guess what would you be salivating over?
Man, I love Brock Purdy's game, man. It's unfortunate that he receives so much criticism. I think it's unfair because it's not like he's a liability on their offense. It's not like if Brock Purdy had to throw 30-plus times a game, they were going to lose. He's shown the ability to be a volume-like quarterback in regards to attempts and coming out on top. So for people that criticizes Brock Purdy, I think it's unfair because, number one, you should never look at Brock Purdy's 1.5-year stint as a starting quarterback and put him in that Pat Mahomes category, right? Mm-hmm. Now, to Brock Purdy's credit, the way he's played football as a starter, looking at his numbers, yes, sometimes you can sprinkle his name in those conversations because he's played high-level football over the last 2 years. But he's a guy that's still earning his keep in the National Football League. And I feel like if Brock Purdy was a first or second-round draft pick, the way he's been criticized, it wouldn't be up to the same level if he was a first or second-round draft pick. If you look at Brock Purdy's numbers, if those numbers was warranted from a first or second-round draft pick, do you think he would be criticized as much? Playing in his second conference championship game? Right? Yeah. I don't think so. I think that plays a lot into why he faces so much criticism. And I, for one, think he's a winner, and he's shown the ability to win. Now, to answer your second question, what you should do against Brock Purdy, the same thing you would do against the elites of the elite at the quarterback position. You should never, I don't know if you guys play poker, I don't know if you guys are card players, but you know any given time you get at the card table, if you show your hand to your opponent, they know exactly what you have and they know how to dissect and counter to be able to win that said hand, right? It's the same thing with the game of football defensively. If you manipulate the coverage, if you manipulate the blitz concepts, now you make the quarterback, the opposing quarterback, think, and you oftentimes can confuse him. And that's the thing I love about Aaron Glenn's defense. Yes, they might give up a play here or there, but when he's bringing pressure, you never know where the pressure is coming from. You never know where the droppers are dropping to minimize throwing lanes, and it all works hand in hand based on the disguise concepts. That has to be what you need to present to Brock Purdy. When you play against any quarterback, it's not just about Brock Purdy. You play against any quarterback, if you show them your hand, guess what they're going to do? They're going to find success.
Now, look, on the other side for the Lions, man, I want to ask this question. With Jared Goff, what does he need to do in order to try and neutralize or beat this San Francisco defense, especially their linebackers?
Jared Goff just played Jared Goff football. Playoff football is about two things based on my experience as a past player, retired player. The team that gets off to a fast start and the team that protects the football the best usually wins. You guys have been watching the playoffs the entire season, right? Round ones and currently getting ready for this week. Look at the teams that have won ball games. Look at the common thing those teams have done. Gotten off to a real good start, and they protected the football. So if I'm Jared Goff, listen, Jared Goff, you have nothing to prove. I think you're a bona fide winner. I think you're a guy that can play high-level quarterbacking for the team. Play the same way you've been playing. Protect the football. Take what the defense is giving you. And one thing that Bill Cowher used to emphasize to our quarterbacks my rookie year during our championship run, punting the football is fine. There's nothing wrong with punting the football. You know what I mean? Instead of forcing an issue and creating turnovers. So for me personally, I like Jared Goff in this matchup. And one thing that I've witnessed with San Francisco defensively, they've been a stout unit, but they've been having holes that surface in their defensive play as well. You know what I mean? So I think Jared Goff should be in a good situation, just being smart with the football, make the time he plays that's given to you, and play the same way you've been playing the entire season.
Hey, Brian, this KG in the sound booth. I had a question for you. You won 2 Super Bowls, and I think you played in 3, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of our young Lions players, this is our first time getting to this level of football. Can you speak to what it's like just being a young player getting to this level of football and what it takes to stay at this level of football?
Man, just don't think about it too much, because oftentimes when you think about what you're about to embark in, right, you kind of put too much pressure on yourself. I remember our first Super Bowl run. It happened, heck, my rookie year. So at that time, that's kind of all I knew. I didn't know anything else because, I was fresh in the National Football League. But I remember, Coach Cowher emphasized to our entire team during the playoff run. He was like, man, whatever you guys are doing, don't change it up. Do not change it up. You know what I mean? Keep doing whatever it is your routine is. Keep doing it. If you guys are going out together as a team on Friday nights, hanging out and enjoying each other, keep doing it. If you're spending time with your family or whatever the case may be, keep doing it. Don't change up anything because we're in the first round of the playoffs. We're in the second round of the playoffs. Oh, we're in championship weekend. No, don't change it up. You want to be relaxed. In anything that you do, it's not just about sports. Whatever your career is, whatever your profession is, whatever your 9 to 5 is, in anything you do, if you do so with a relaxed mind and relaxed heart, you're going to be successful because you don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself. Like when you guys are doing your shows, when you feel good and you relax, you have your best shows. But when you oftentimes overthink this upcoming segment, you kind of put more pressure on yourself, and then you become uncomfortable. And anytime you're uncomfortable, that doesn't warrant success. You know what I mean? So me personally, I would advise to the Lions, man, just keep doing what you guys been doing up until this point, man. Keep doing it. Because it has been working.
B-Mac, I got to ask this too, man, before we let you get going. Obviously, the Detroit Lions, they haven't had this amount of success since even before you were rookie, before I was born. Do you view this as a Cinderella story, or are they the real deal? And I guess close out with your prediction if you can.
I don't view the Detroit Lions 2023 season as a Cinderella story, and here's why. If you've been watching football, since Dan Campbell has become the head coach there in Detroit, you've seen progression. You've seen development. You've seen a sense of steady play. You've seen a mentality being created before your eyes. Heck, this was almost supposed to be Detroit last year. Remember, they almost got into the playoff, but they didn't get in. But guess what they did? They played spoiler, right? So this was already kind of in the works. And I think when you talk about the foundation that Coach Campbell has built there in Detroit, it's going to continue. They're going to add structure to that foundation. They're going to add structure to that building. So that's why I love what I'm seeing. Secondly, when you look at Brad Holmes, man, listen, Brad Holmes, people do not talk about Brad Holmes enough, in my opinion. The job that Brad Holmes has done as the GM for the Detroit Lions over the last 2-3 years has been unbelievable. How many guys has he drafted that are big-time contributors to this team? Making the move for Jared Goff, that was a Brad Holmes move. Drafting Amon-Ra St. Brown, that was a Brad Holmes move. Drafting Sam Laporta, that was a Brad Holmes move. Penei Sewell, Brad Holmes move. Aiden Hutchinson, Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes, adding C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Cam Sutton, Brian Branch. Man, almost, think about this, guys, almost all the significant starters and role players, he played a part in them becoming a Detroit Lion. He's been hitting on guys, draft picks. I mean, this man, McNeil, come on, man, it's not just about first and second rounders. This guy has been hitting on guys in the third, fourth round.
That's fact.
People are not talking about. Yes, people are not talking about that, man. So I can't say enough good things about Brad Holmes. But when you have a GM that recognizes talent to what you want your team to look like, and when you have a coach in Dan Campbell that understands what it needs to take to make that said team look like what they needed to look like, no question success is going to warrant. And another thing I'll say before you guys let me go, the Detroit Lions is a selfless team. You don't have any me guys on that team. That's important. That's important. The quarterback is not a me guy. The star wide receiver is not a me guy. The running back is not a me guy. These guys are selfless. They want everyone to eat so they can get to that championship level. And that's why it's been a successful season. That's why I don't believe it's a Cinderella season. That's why the Detroit Lions is going to stick around for quite some time, because they got quality individuals that are manning the system, that know how to continue to add talent to their system, and these guys are selfless.
B-Mac, man, I appreciate you. You were spitting fire. I'm sure the audience wants to hear more from you. Give a shout out to, I know you got All Things Covered, you CBS. Where else can people find your content and listen to more B-Mac?
Man, I talk ball all the time. I talk ball in my sleep, man. So if you guys can't tell, I love football, man. I love talking it. But, yeah, you can catch me on CBS Sports HQ, especially this weekend, getting ready for championship weekend, previewing all the games, halftime shows, post-game shows on Paramount Plus. Also, we're streaming on Paramount Plus. Find me on social media, BMAC_Sports Talk, all the same name for all handles. And I appreciate you guys, man, allowing me to jump on your platform with me.
Appreciate you. We're honored to be here. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Hey, anytime, man. Anytime, man. And hey, if the Lions make it to the Super Bowl, we might have to run it back. I might be a good luck charm for y'all.
Hey, let's go. I'm with it. I'm with it, man. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yo, I love that, man. I love that.
Two-time Super Bowl champ, CBS Sports Analysis, and podcast of All Things Covered, B-Mac, Bryant McFadden. Thank you for joining us. And also, tell us about Platte and Fitness, Kool-Aid.
Tell us actually about Big Boy.
Oh, Big Boy. My bad.
You know what? Wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the Veal Parmigiano or the new Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl. How about breakfast? The stuffed potato pancakes are back. The classic lumberjack or Santa Fe Garde. Also, new apple pie hotcakes that are too good to miss. Top it all off with the new gingerbread shake for dessert. Stop by your local Big Boy today.
Feel alive during Feldman Chevrolet's biggest New Year's sales event ever. Get the best prices on our huge selection of award-winning Chevrolets. Like this 2024 Equinox for $188 per month. Or this 2024 Silverado for $268 per month. It's the New Year's sales event going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Planet Fitness, you can get energy without the judgment.
Hi, can you help me with this?
You don't know how to use it?
This is better.
Join now through January 19th for just 24 cents down, $10 a month. Never intimidating. Always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Join today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for 24 cents down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal extended through January 19th.
Over 50 Metro Detroit locations.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions!
With money on the line, featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Feldman Chevrolet is Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. With over 18 locations across the great state, there's one in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the one nearest you and visit the best car buying experience in the game. Also check out Morning Woodward and BDE live every other Monday at Feldman Chevrolet at Novi. Swiss Insurance is the best in the game of insurance. All right, hit up my guy Mark. This is Mark at SwissINS.com or give him a call at 248-800-4177. All right, man. It's we got the official
B McFadden was spitting.
Oh yeah, hey. B-Mac is him.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite guests.
Yes, and I like that he invited himself to come back. That means we did a good job. Hey, good job, boys. All right, shout out to us. But we have the official Detroit Pistons beat reporter of Woodward Sports in the show. There were some rumors, I believe it's from James Edwards, of a Zach LaVine possibly being acquired by the Pistons. What's going on with the whole situation?
Look, on the Woodward Pistons podcast too, man. Rob Beard and I. Shout out to Rob Beard of the
Make sure you guys subscribe to that one too.
The sports editor in chief. We've been talking about this actually for a couple of months, and James's report kind of confirmed that the Detroit Pistons and the Chicago Bulls have had discussions concerning a Zach LaVine trade. Now, the thing as it relates to the particulars of that deal, we know that the Pistons do not want to give up any part of their young core of these players: Cade, Ivy, Asar, and Duren. And supposedly the Bulls were hoping, if there was a deal to be consummated between the two, that it would be Bojan with one of those players. I assume that the Pistons would have given their kind of list of what's available. I know they said that they don't want to trade Bojan unless it's a absolute just knockout deal, and I don't know if this one is quite that deal. But to confirm if the Pistons have been busy, because usually we don't even hear when the Pistons are busy. Just a trade happens. And we're like, dang, where'd that come from?
Big facts.
But with this one, I almost feel like this one is leaking just so we know that they're working on something.
To shut us up? Yeah. That makes sense. Because and I want to be disrespectful, but the media narrative of the Detroit Pistons is like Tom Gore is very controlling, though. Yeah. So for this to get out there, it is definitely on purpose, 1,000,000%. And before I was cut off, Chris, what were you saying?
But no, particularly before I was rudely interrupted by Eazy. By Eazy. I was saying that
because you're white, you can talk over me, huh?
Hey, hold on.
You better than us black people.
Eazy, are you trying to silence a minority right now? Is that what you're trying to do? Is that what you're trying to do? I've been waiting to get that far off. No, but when it comes to that, I think it was also intentional to label the young core too, right? Like to label names in that. But you know, I mean, look, this may be a part of the Platte path. It may or may not be a part of the Platte path.
The Platte path. I like that, man. You know what I thought was really cool about this too is that all season Jaden Ivey has been kind of under this cloud of just confusion, whether it be starting, whether it be playing time, whether it be is he in trouble, what's going on with him, and to see his name kind of listed amongst those four, Chris, that to me I think is a huge vote of confidence from the organization. That's saying, look, we see you as part of this future. A lot of people were worried. They're like, are we really going to give up on him right now? He seems to be, honestly, in terms of the players on this team, I think it's Cade, it's Ivy as two of your best players on this team, man. I really, really do. And I believe that if we give them an opportunity to figure this thing out, whether it's Cade off ball a little bit more, and Ivy with the ball in his hands, or if it's both of them a little bit more off ball and they run more offense through like Monte Morris, who I thought his minutes looked awesome in the win against the Hornets, man.
Hey, say one more time, the what against the Hornets?
His minutes.
No. You said the what against the Hornets?
The win.
The win?
The win.
Oh, the win.
Oh, bro, you know, it's so foreign. I was like, what? What did I say? I said the Pistons won?
The Pistons won a game.
Yeah. Hey, G-Mac was there last night, too.
Shout out to G-Mac. We had him in the studio last week. I got him back in, actually, because last time he was in, the Pistons won. So, I'm going to see who pull up tomorrow.
Kool-Aid, I do got a question. Why are they so stubborn on what's his name, Bojan, bro? Because I don't understand why you want to keep holding on to an aging forward who's 34 that doesn't play defense. I understand the shooting ability, but why are they so stubborn talking about they need the perfect deal to let him go? I don't understand it.
You dropped 34?
Bro,
man. Somebody had to do it.
He wanted like Sunday morning rec league ball too.
Yeah, man. I don't understand. Like he seems like
he be out there like he's like prime like LeBron the way he go. He takes the ball on the court. I'm like, hey, yo, Bojan,
he's pointing people in their spot.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? Hey.
He hold the ball with one hand and be like,
it's literally like some LeBron shit.
Like Kevin Hart in the celebrity game.
This season has been dull. This season has been dull, but heat check Bojan is like entertaining, like to say the least. Slightly.
Yeah.
Like it at least gives you something to look at.
But he just seems like a player that you would put in a deal, like to go acquire somebody.
So he's a big part of the Platte pass. He's a big part of the Platte pass.
Supposedly, man, like they don't want to get younger, and they feel like the only types of returns they're going to get back for Bojan Bogdanovic is going to be things like draft picks or younger players, because teams that would trade for him they're looking to go into these playoffs and try and up their chances of winning, and they're not going to necessarily give back what the Pistons are looking for. And that's why they said if they do trade him, they want it to be a splash. My thing is, you're running out of time to get something for him. Like, he only has one more year in his deal after this. Is he really trying to re-sign with the Pistons after that? Especially if they don't have the assets without including him in a deal to bring back something that can move this restore or rebuild into an actual, like, yeah, we're ready to compete for the play-in. Like, they're behind schedule right now, if we just have to call it what it is. And I do believe that not trading Bojan last year, being stubborn on Bojan this year, I don't know how that really helps them much. If Bojan and one of your young core members can get you a player like Zach LaVine, I think that you have to just kind of come off your high horse just a little bit and consider that. I really do.
I don't want to insult the Pistons front office intelligence here, but like, this has been around for several CBAs now. There's this cool thing you can do called rerouting assets in a trade, do a multi-team trade. Like, if the contenders are giving you young players and picks that you don't want, you can expand it to a multi-team trade, reroute those, and then get the player you want in return. And you can get somebody that's 30 instead of 34. That's older, still a veteran, but also fits the Pistons timeline. Or my perfect team for the Bojan is New Orleans. New Orleans is a team that has a lot of young people like Najee Marshall. Bro, get him on Detroit today.
You talking about acquiring?
But you got to convince Monty Williams of that too. Monty Williams has been saying since training camp he is not trying. He's trying to mix in vets. He wants more vets on his team. That's a part of the reason why they went and they traded for Muscala and Danilo Gallinari, and it's worked for them to some degree.
I know another reason why they traded for Gallinari too.
Oh, I want to hear that.
I mean, he's signed to a certain sports agency. He's signed to a certain sports agency.
Yeah, I told you, KG. I told you with these deals, read between the lines, and you'll start to figure out who's probably pulling some of the strings with these things.
And you was
step one of the Platte path. I'm sure you all can figure it out. But step one of the Platte path, I'm sure y'all can do it.
But yeah, Monty, he prefers these kind of, and I get it. He's generally had success when he's had more veteran-laden teams, man. Are they devoid of young players? No, but they've been young players who have had to actually kind of bend their will to those veteran players. They've had to raise their level of work. They've had to raise their level of understanding, and they've been helped along by those vet players. This current Pistons team, they have 7 now since they traded Isaiah Livers. They have now 7 players on rookie contract deals. And we can see, man, when I talk to some of these guys like Ivy, when I talk to some of these guys like Sasser, the things that I hear back from them when I say, do you feel like you're finally figuring out this NBA game? Do you believe you're hitting your stride? They say things back to me like, you know what? I feel like I'm getting more and more comfortable, but I still have so much to learn. And I think that, when you even hear Monty Williams' explanation for not playing Ivy more at the point, he said, I thought we would have to go and teach him the point guard spot a little bit more. Like, obviously, can he play with the ball in his hands? Yes. But does he understand everything that's supposed to go on? I don't know. And that's been kind of this notion from Monty Williams. Me personally, I don't think that we're really in a position to turn away talent that could move us into the next stratosphere, whether they're young or whether they're vets. I'm hoping that there is some good deal out there for Bojan, but if they honestly feel like they can utilize their cap space and that they can make some other trades without giving up a Bojan, honestly, that's where things do get interesting. If they believe that, and I wouldn't believe that they'd be this stubborn about it unless they had some things in the pipeline, because it just doesn't make any other sense unless they have something already lined up. And last year, we wanted them to make some deals, or the year that we got Duren, we wanted them to make deals that trade deadline before, and rumors kind of came out that they were talking to the New York Knicks, but no deal was consummated. We're like, dang it, man, he should have did this, he should have did that. Then we get to the offseason, and then shebang. All of this stuff just kind of pops off with the Jeremy Grant trade, which set up getting that 25th first overall pick, the Milwaukee Bucks first-round pick. And we thought, you can't do nothing with that. And then they traded that for Alec Burks, Kevin Knox, Jalen Duren, and then a bunch of other players that they got to kick the tires on, but ultimately, threw away. So, I don't know, man.
It's just February sets up July a lot of times.
Yeah. It's just to me, if you want to hold on to your young players, then Bojan should be included in the deal. That's just my thinking. I don't see how you can get a deal done without putting him in there if you want to keep all of your young core.
I agree.
Yeah.
I see the comments in the chat before we get going. Detroit Red Wings versus the Philly Flyers. Pretty sure.
Break it down, Eazy.
Yeah,
Break
how
it
about
down.
that hockey? I'll tell you like this.
What's the key of the match? What's the key
Bet the
matchup?
money line. Detroit Red Wings. I do know this piece of hockey information. The Flyers lost to the Senators. I'm not mistaken. The
What do
Senators
you know
are
about
ass.
this hockey thing?
Hey, I'm 17% hockey fan. Red Wings. What do you guys want? We're on a Super Bowl run right now, and there's an NBA trade. Come on? Flyers. They suck. 3-game losing streak. Eastern Conference, close, evenly matched, whatever. I'm going Red Wings. Is that happy? You guys good? Is that good?
I think that's good.
All
man.
right.
Money line. Bet the house on it.
Hey, smash that like button. Be a friend. Tell a friend. Share the stream. That's at Detroit Kool-Aid. I'm at Speaking Sports _. That's at the real Chris Pilati, and that's at Elon Musk. If you want to follow my guy KG. Hey, appreciate you guys.
Followed, man.
We fuck out of here. All right, love you guys. Appreciate you for watching the show.
Peace out.